Hang tight, little buddy. I'll take a look around after...
Superior technological might, necromancer!
Throw it down your simian hindquarters, barbarian!
Skunky. And paperweight? He's looking pretty spry for a 120-year-old. And there's the Devil's Toy Box. And it's that.
Sam! Get me out of here! This whole place smells like gorilla and patchouli.
Sir, the interloper who foiled my scheme to collect the toys of power and re-imprisoned me in the penal zone?
Sam? The great-grandson of the poltroon who put the kibosh on my intricate plan to unleash Yog-Sothoth and take over the world?
I hate that guy.
I hate that guy!
Yes. Common enemy. I propose an alliance.
You get the galaxy, I get the Earth?
Agreed!
Nice going, Bubble Brain.
Don't blame me. I'm still trying to find the volume controls on this thing.
Minions, after him!
Sam? Aw, man! Now I'm stuck in here with the alliance of C-list supervillains. It was way more fun when they were fighting. Hey, Skunky!
Yes?
What are you two scamps doing with the Devil's Toy Box?
We're tapping the nigh-infinite power of your brain to create a bifurcated vortex of technological and arcane energies to impel the toys of power to return to their point of origin.
Via a 5-dimensional matrix of quantum foam and sympathetic magics.
Yes, of course!
You have no idea what I just said, do you?
No, but if it means more psychic toys for me, then vortex away! Now that you and Fezhead have stopped fighting, could you tell me how my brain ended up outside my sexy little body?
I took it from you after I was suddenly ejected from the penal zone.
How come I didn't notice?
You appeared to be entranced by a primitive form of Earth entertainment.
Around here, we call it a popcorn coma, big guy. What are you planning to do with my brain once this whole Toys for Jerks drive is over?
The same thing I planned to do before you yanked me into your ASAT's penal zone. Plug your brain into my ship's central computer and use your terrifying psychic powers to conquer the galaxy.
Couldn't we just use them to cruise for chicks? The ladies love a good spoon bending.
That's curious. My scans indicate you don't even like girls.
Could you try not to kill Sam? He's my designated driver whenever I'm in the sauce like this.
Oh, my minions won't kill him.
That's good.
They're under strict orders to drag him, beaten and bloodied, to my feet.
So that he might witness my ascension to ruler of the galaxy.
Just so long as he can still drive. So, long time no see.
Long time? Yes. If only you knew
How long?
it has been but a handful of Earth hours.
Since you and your companion imprisoned me in the penal zone,
However, due to the temporal phase shifting of the zone,
I experienced years of maddening nothingness during those fleeting hours.
Ah, that would explain the tiny crow's feet around the eyes. Not to mention that telltale old gorilla smell. What are you doing here, anyway?
The same thing I was doing all those years ago.
Boring me to tears?
Gathering the toys of power so that I might conquer the galaxy.
Why are you working with that creepy paperweight guy?
Monsieur Paperweight and I have reached an accommodation.
Is that legally permitted in this state?
I'm lending my scientific prowess to his mystical efforts to draw the toys of power into the so-called Devil's Toy Box.
That spell thing Paperweight's working on. It wouldn't have something to do with summoning an elder god by the name of Yog-Sothoth, would it?
Now that you mention it, Yog-Sothoth's name did come up once or twice. He's certainly touchy about that precious tapestry of his.
Yes.
I see you've got your old band of lackeys back together.
Yes, yes. My mighty army is once again ready to take on the galaxy. At least they would be if Paperweight's filthy security guard wasn't underfoot. That disease-carrying insect had better keep his pestilent thorax away from my boys.
Could you go over there for a while? The way you're salivating over my anterior cortex is creeping me out, frankly.
Very well.
Look at all those cool psychic toys. Am I doing that?
Indeed, yes. Your psychic brain melded to Monsieur Paperweight's sorcery and my super science have created a techno-arcanic whirlpool, drawing the toys to this convenient container.
So that explains the giant sucking sound in my head.
No, that's just you.
What's that for?
That controls our new laser light show. It will bring many, many young peoples to the museum.
If you can lure them away from their zoetropes. Hey you, Fez guy!
What is it?
What are you and Corporal Buttcheeks here doing with the Devil's Toy Box anyway?
We're unwinding and rewiring the synapses of your brain to cast a blasphemous net of tech necromancy across the reality so that the toys of power may be properly encased within the Devil's Toy Box.
Ah, that's about what I thought.
Really? Repeat what I just said.
Blah, blah, blah. I've got a wonderful brain. Blargy, blargy. More toys for me. You're a magical mumbo-jumbo guy, so maybe you can tell me. What's the deal with me having psychic powers all of a sudden? Am I going through the change?
It's difficult to say. The only minds on this plane capable of wielding the toys of power are the insane, the simple, or the defective.
Ah, you've been reading my press, kid.
But encountering two special brains in the same bloodline is practically unheard of. Your lineage is most peculiar and dangerous.
You should see us during holiday cookouts. Did you try and stop your new buddy from zapping Sam with a banana-shaped ray gun or whatever?
Why should I give a hellbeast's hangnail about the fate of Summit's brood?
Well, let me get back to you on that. How come you haven't aged a day since my great-grandpa kicked your demon-summoning butt back in the olden times?
The horrible secret of my apparent immortality is too terrible to comprehend, and would surely drive an uninitiated mind such as yours to the brink of madness were I to utter it.
So, Pilates then? What are you doing in this 2-bit museum anyway?
Since my defeat at the hands of your meddling ancestors, I've insinuated myself into the archaeological community, painstakingly gathering the requisite toys of power necessary to reopen a doorway between our world and the realm of Yog-Sothoth.
Nerd. Why are you and that big dumb ape skunk ape working together?
General Skunkapi and I have had a meeting of minds over our mutual loathing of you, your partner, and your forefathers.
So that added up to what? One mind between you?
I just hope his brain-dead minions can dispose of your partner without injuring any of my employees.
Pretty grubby joint you got here.
It's one of the finest collections in the world. Our Yog-Sothoth tapestry is one of a kind.
Gee, it'd be a shame if Skunk Ape's minions ripped your tapestry to shreds and used it for space towelettes. You know, accidentally.
Don't even think of such a thing.
All this talking with my brain is making me tired. Let's talk later. These two goofs are about as entertaining as public radio. Oh, I sure hope Sam survived the attack of the minions. I've got a lot of complaining to do.
Well, at least I know that Max's brain is still alive and kicking. I'll never get back in there while Skunk Ape and Paperweight are working together. Maybe I can break up those lovebirds from out here. Coming soon, a brief history of bad ideas in transportation. I hope Max's brain and body are reunited by the time this exhibit opens. He loves tooling around in comically unviable vehicles. Good thing Max isn't here. Edutainment sends him into an atavistic rage. Although the Hindenburg met its fiery demise in 1937, its sister ship, the Aeroschwein, is still in operation today and was a stunt double in the 1968 musical Let's All Go for a Ride in My Beautiful Balloon. So that's where that song came from. It's too bad Max's mighty psychic brain isn't here. There's all sorts of new phone numbers on this courtesy phone. I could learn a lot from this if I wasn't so offended by the choice of fonts. Please don't touch, play on or around the Pharaoh's brain. I question the wisdom of this sign. Normally, the code of the freelance policeman frowns on stealing ancient brains. Desperate times call for icky measures. Ew, it's warm and pulsing and wriggly. I don't know whether to be repulsed or use it as a neck massager.
Hey, you!
Who, me?
Don't get kid with me, wise guy. What are you doing in the museum after dark?
I'm Sam. I'm with the freelance police.
Freelance police, eh? I heard a lot about you guys. A lot. I'm Sal, museum's security guard. You must be looking into all the freaky shenanigans going on around here tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Well, feel free to poke around. But right now you gotta do something about this pile of trash.
That's not trash. That's my partner.
Partner, trash, potato, potato. If it's not up and moving in the next few minutes, I'm tossing that smelly lump of guts into the incinerator.
Incinerator? Yeesh. Sal!
Keep it down, will ya? This is a museum, not a locker room.
Sal, why is that name so familiar? Wait a minute. Stinkies used to have a fry cook named Sal.
Yep, that'd be me.
A 6-foot-tall cockroach working at Stinkies? That's shocking! No, wait. What's that thing that's the complete opposite of shocking? So why did Grandpa Stinky fire you? I mean, aside from the whole disease-carrying vermin thing.
He, didn't approve of a cockroach in the kitchen.
That's strange. Grandpa Stinky never had problems with cockroaches before. Don't look now, but there's a scandalously clad intergalactic despot running roughshod through your museum.
You mean General Skunkape? He's an A1 buttwad, all right. But what are you gonna do? Mr. Paperweight's rolled out the red carpet for him and his minions.
Don't you think you should alert the authorities?
What? Lose my job?
How's life with Skunk Ape?
Skunk Ape. That's a good one. I'll have to remember that. Not so bad. Aside from the big gorilla over there guarding the door, most of these apes just hang out in the planetarium.
What's with all the apes running around?
Beats me. Mr. Paperweight told me to steer clear of them. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Any idea what that paperweight loser is doing in the planetarium?
Hey, don't be calling Mr. Paperweight a loser. He's a stand-up guy who took me in and gave me a job.
He's not here, you know.
Nah, I got no idea what that loser's up to. Heck, I can't even understand half the things he tells me over the headphones.
Your boss is gathering demonic toys for a nefarious purpose.
Toys, eh? And what do you want me to do about it?
Call the Army, the Navy, the Swiss Guard.
You want me to turn on my boss? Dream on, buddy. This is a pretty cushy job here, and I ain't messing it up over a bunch of demonic toys.
Nice headphones. Listening to the game? Or maybe some Black Flag?
Now, these are my official museum guard emergency headphones. I gotta wear these so that Mr. Paperweight can tell me where to go in case of a security emergency. Of course, I haven't heard from him in a while. He must be busy up there with that space gorilla guy.
See you, Sal.
Careful out there, Sam. This place is cuckoo tonight.
That fellow reminds me of my great-granduncle Eustachius. Canis erectus. This freakish tooth, dating from the late Flammarian era, is thought to represent an evolutionary dead end of heavyset man-dog hybrids. This night was bad enough. But now my distant ancestors are getting insulted by pasty-faced anthropologists. Most of the brains I carry around in my jacket are a lot less warm and pulsing. I bet this thing would fire right up if I stuck it in a body. Maybe this carefully preserved gray matter will get Max's body moving, or at least twitching and drooling unnervingly. Hello? Anybody in there?
Torment of Osiris will be laid upon your feet, heretics! The wrath of... Anubis!
No, but I get that a lot. I'm Sam.
Oh, my! A new body! And it's so energetic!
That's probably one of Max's sugar rushes. You'll just want to ride him out until you get used to him.
Well, I suppose you want some sort of tedious boon in return for rescuing our spirit from the shadowy realms, yes?
Well, if it's not too much trouble, Your Majesty, I could use some help retrieving Max's brain from a couple of world-conquering Nimrods.
I believe we can aid you in your quest, but where will my brain go after we've restored this Max?
Well, if everything goes as planned, I suppose you can take your pick between an ethnic sorcerer and a superpowered space gorilla.
A gorilla? That does sound promising. Very well, we shall grant your boon. It shouldn't be too much trouble with all these toys of the gods secreted in this fuzzy little body.
Toys of the gods? Do you have the gift?
Is that what they're calling it these days? My people always called it the Curse of Horus. Ungrateful wretches.
Neat. If you've got creepy brain powers, this rescue's gonna be a walk in the park. Ready to roll?
Lead on, barbarian.
Earth Dog Man, where do you think you're going?
I'm, just looking for the snack foods exhibit.
No one leaves here. Skonkape's orders.
Why?
We're supposed to be on the lookout for, Sam. That's it, Sam. Are you Sam?
No, my name is, Tyrone. Sam's that guy.
"'Tis we! I've arrived at the world-famous Museum of Mostly Natural History. And look, a cute little animatronic monkey!
Mahila to Skonkape, I've successfully neutralized the one known as Sam.
Yes? Describe him.
Pink, hairless, difficult to place accent.
That's not Sam, you fool. Now don't bother me again until you find Sam.
Apparently that, wasn't Sam.
Oh well, happy hunting.
Thank you, Tyrone.
Museum of Mostly Natural History guided tour. Ah, an audio guide that attempts to make sense of the nonsensical museum displays. I should tape one of these for our office.
Behold, the dread wonder of Yog-Sothoth, overfiend of the dark dimension.
Yeah. I'm glad my great-grandpa stopped that trans-dimensional beauty from manifesting in the East Side.
We like him. He reminds us of our father.
Really?
Of course not. Our father was a sandal merchant. That's a picture of some sort of unholy hell beast. Really, Sam, you're far too gullible.
Tapestry of Yog-Sothoth, overfiend of the dank dimensions. On loan from the East Village chapter of the Knights of Yog-Sothoth. He doesn't look so tough.
We had Yog-Sothoth worshippers in our time. They kept trying to steal our toys.
Hey, Your Majesty, check out these spiffy phone numbers.
Phone numbers? Ah, hieroglyphics to activate the translocation toy. We always wondered how that device worked.
Probably would have helped if the ancient astronauts who taught you how to build pyramids had left behind a few telephones. Say, one of those phone numbers is brand new. It says it's an information desk, but I feel dumber just looking at it. Poiosaurus henway. What's a Poiosaurus henway?
Judging from that skeleton, about 7 tons.
Are you sure Max isn't in there? The end of the world is predicted by top apocalypsologists.
Ignorant peasants. Everyone knows that the world will face its demise when Hathor begins wading in the blood of the heretics, only to be tricked by Ra into drinking a tainted vessel of barley beer to defeat him.
Wait, is that the movie that has everyone dancing on the golf course at the end? Somehow I doubt they're gonna lure in the jaded thugs of today with laser light shows. Not enough despinings to hold a young person's attention.
What is this laser show?
Actually, I kind of forget, but I'm pretty sure it's bitchin'.
Fascinating.
That's interesting. Holyoke, Massachusetts. If I remember my field guide for otherworldly incursions correctly, that tentacle's a flagellum from the dark dimension.
Ah, the arrow of power. But where's the disc of madness? Or the orb of unending bounciness?
We haven't found him yet, but here, take a gander at this.
Ah, the wondrous essence thief! How well I remember disguising myself as a palm frond to observe the forbidden rituals at the Temple of Adolescence.
You tyrannical scamp. So this is Paperweight's office.
What a dump!
Someone's coming.
Why have you left the planetarium?
That intergalactic bully is driving me bananas, and his minions are a threat to my beautiful museum. Can't you do something?
Get a grip on yourself, man. Can't you see our long struggle to gather the toys is almost over?
You think I don't know that? I've been dreaming of this second chance for decades.
Then stop whining and get back in there.
Yes, sir, Dr. Norrington. Right away, Dr. Norrington.
Norrington.
His imperious attitude puts me in mind of a lute teacher we fed to my crocodiles for correcting my divine embouchure.
You know, Max's patter is a lot less
Violent?
multisyllabic. Looks like Paperweight subscribes to Obazoth's nonsensical Grimoire Club. Your Highness?
Yes.
How'd a kid like you get to become Pharaoh? Did your daddy Pharaoh die when you were young?
Oh no, our dad was a sandal maker. We became Pharaoh after we stumbled upon the toys of the gods while stealing coins from a tomb. The toys awakened latent abilities within us, granting us the power to cast the royal family into the Nile and reshape the entire kingdom in our now divine image.
Now there's a heartwarming rags to riches story. If the toys made you so powerful, how'd you end up as a pickled brain in a jar?
During our reign, there were always a few troublemakers who, impervious to our divine powers, rebelled against our benevolent but firm dictates. We suspect one of them finally snuck past our defenses.
Hold any grudges?
Sam, that's all in the past. Even if we did hold an eternal grudge against the mystery assassins who deposed us all those centuries ago, it's not as if we can do anything about it now, right?
Right. I've got to find a way past Cosmic Gorilla Guy and Dr. Strange Accent.
Early in our reign, we found out that a minor vizier and a captain of the guard were conspiring against us. We could have wiped them out with a thought, but it amused us to turn them against each other instead.
So, Your Highness, you impressed by the 21st century yet?
Oh, most definitely. Though we do feel a bit out of our element.
Don't worry. Once we teach you a few crude gestures and get rid of the whole talking in the plural thing, you'll fit right in. After all this is over, we'll all head to Broadway and take in a show.
Oh, bread and circuses! Are there gladiator fights?
Actually, it's mostly a bunch of people dressed up as cats singing about wanting to break loose, and then a chandelier falls on them. How'd your brain stay alive all these years, anyway?
Before our death, we left strict instructions with our viziers to pickle our brain in a special solution of crocodile tears and ground ibis beaks.
And that kept your brain alive?
Don't be ridiculous. It was our special gift that kept our brain alive. Duh.
Let's roll.
Aha! We shall roll.
You sure know your obscure cultural references, Your Majesty.
Roll! Roll onward!
Check it out, Your Majesty. An insanely detailed top-down drawing of the city.
What a remarkable illusion of depth.
Oh yeah, you didn't have perspective and vanishing points in your time, did you?
Of course we did. Why, we had a whole chamber full of perspectives and a headdress adorned with vanishing points. And... shut up!
Paperweight's quite the reader.
A lowly scribe, then.
This office could use a little tidying up. And a good firm raising. 4 ancient diabolical summoning spells. And 1 pretty good chili recipe. It's locked. What kind of paranoid freak keeps his door locked from the inside?
I locked all my slaves inside my birthday pyramid after they finished building it.
Paperweight's not a slave.
Are you sure?
Teleportation. Future vision.
Talk about a chilling vision of the future.
We are not amused.
Teleportation.
Welcome to the Museum of Mostly Natural History. My name is Anton Paperweight, and I'll be your narrator on this self-guided tour today. Let us begin. Please make your way to the Mesozoic era exhibit in the center of the main floor. Although it lasted for only 7 weeks during the late summer of 56 million BC, the Mesozoic era produced an incredible explosion of evolutionary diversity, most of which was quickly erased by less ridiculous creatures. Gently yank the bone to hear the roar of the Pollosaurus henway. Please make your way to the animatron of the terrible beast assaulting the city. Humanity has long pondered about the eventual fate of the Earth. Today, thanks to sophisticated supercomputers, scientists have determined that the world will end in the year 2015 as giant monsters, environmental disasters, and political apathy combine to turn our world into an unlivable hellhole shortly before the sun unexpectedly goes nova. Turn the hourglass to witness the Earth's final moments as predicted by accredited apocalypticians. Please proceed to the Treasures of the Forgotten Pharaoh exhibit. The museum is proud to have recently obtained the preserved remains of the mysterious Forgotten Pharaoh of ancient Egypt. Now, poke the eyes to see an ancient, brutal civilization spring to life. And finally, the pride of the museum. Please proceed to the Knights of Yog-Sothoth display. The Order of Yog-Sothoth were an ancient society of mystic knights dedicated to serving an overfiend of the dark dimensions. This priceless tapestry, woven from the meticulously groomed back hair of the knights, is all that remains of their order. To see the terrifying power of the Yog-Sothoth tapestry, pull the sword from the eyeball.
Please don't touch, play on or around the Pharaoh's brain.
When we ruled, anyone caught touching the Pharaoh's brain was sealed in a vat of scorpions.
It's still got that old brain smell. The seven-sided pyramid of Hikaba was the crowning glory of Kestimpum the Tiny until it collapsed under its staggering weight and unorthodox design.
Seven-sided pyramids! Blech! My pyramids had so many sides, they were practically cones!
Ah, the Sphinx.
Have you heard its famous riddle? It'll knock your sandals off. It's all about, well, there's a cucumber, and then... no, wait. Let me start over.
Don't bother, Your Highness. Really. Ooh, pointy and dangerous. Two of my favorite things.
Why does this simple device fill me with such a feeling of unspeakable dread?
I think that's just Max's body having a tingle of anticipation. It does that when it sees exotic weaponry.
Ah.
Ancient Egyptian brain screw.
In my day, we called it the Divine Brain Swirly.
Hey, it's me. Give or take 4,000 years and a decent tailor.
More like 4,000 sit-ups. You're telling me!
If you're going to putrefy and decompose, might as well do it in style.
You're telling me! That's the Buckingham Imperial model with the optional scorpion proofing. How delightful! I can almost hear them groaning in pain.
You're gonna love reality TV.
Future vision.
Hey, Max, check this out. It turns out that Lady Godiva was a dude.
Ooh, icky.
Well, either I managed to return Max's brain to his body in the future, or you're destined to learn a killer Max impression.
Let's move on.